Welcome back to the Caribou Data Science channel. A couple of quick notes before we get started. There is a link to my SQLite database and R code in the description below. 2, don't forget to click the red S button on the lower right-hand corner of the screen to subscribe. And don't forget to share the Caribou Data Science channel with one of your friends this week. Finally, a big shout out to all the 14 people who have already subscribed to Caribou Data Science. Okay, let's go and run the numbers for the U.S., run the COVID-19 numbers for the United States. Today is August 15th, 2020. Let's just pull up our data. Let's just pull up our, first of all, let's take a look at our SQLite database, see what we got here. Open up this, do some data browsing here. We start with the European Center for Disease Prevention and Control. As you can see, they go up to a day's data, which is the 15th. John Hopkins, on the other hand, is a day behind at the 14th, as well as the USA numbers from New York Times, or to the 14th. So we got our database is up to date, and the link to the database will be in the description below. So go ahead and grab that database and just have some fun with it. Okay. As you can see, the only library being called is the RSQLite library. And here's where we're actually doing the database connection. And when we are pulling the database, pulling out the USA database, USA data instead. And then we fix the date and move on. So let's just go ahead and run this. Check to make sure we got some data here. We do. And the first thing we do, we just pull out a statement, a smaller subset for the US, only from the April 4th, 2020 onward. Summary of cases, summary of deaths, 14-day moving average, and a plot first of the cases and then the deaths. Okay, let's take a look at the summary stats. First cases, the minimum cases since April 1st is 17,588 per day. The mean cases is 37,580 per day. And the maximum has been 78,427 for one day. Minimum deaths was 242. Mean deaths was 1,206 per day. The maximum deaths was 4,928. Let me take a look at the plot for the cases by day. Red line is a 14-day moving average. We had a spike in April, followed by some decline. Then in June, it began to decline. It began to climb again. We had a downtrend, but now it appears to be trending back up, which isn't necessarily a good thing. Next, we come down here, we do another subset. This time, we're only picking the dates. This only goes through August 8th, which was last Saturday's date. Let's see what this gives for us here then. And here is deaths. And here is deaths by day. Again, deaths and the 14-day moving average, which is the red line. Now, here we are up through August 8th. You know what, since the European Center for Disease Prevention and Control has the current date of 15th, which is the week ending date. So let's run this once more, but this time with the week ending date of the 15th. Now let's see what we got here. Okay. You can still see the spike back in April, followed by decline, and some upturn in deaths by week or by day, starting with July. While there is a decline here, There's a spike here, drops down, and now the spike's starting to come back up again. So we could be seeing well, hopefully, you pray to God that this is not the deaths catching up to the cases here. Now let's look at non-moving averages by week and by day, or by week and by month. Create the dates. Calculate the totals. Now let's look at some bar plots here. Weekly cases, COVID-19. As we said, the peak back in April. Some downtrend. Now we're coming back up here. What this looks like is, if this is correct, we've actually seen a decline in weekly cases by week for the last 3 weeks. Not so much here, but a big drop from here to here. But still, for this last week, we had fewer cases than we did the previous week. So weekly deaths. We had a big spike in deaths again back in April, followed by a steady decline. Then in June we started seeing an increase in deaths, a spike here, and a downtrend this last week. And here's the weekly death rates. Okay, so the death rate stayed below 2% for last week, for this week. Estimated lives saved based on the decrease in the death rate. You can see over 35,000 lives saved this week. Fewer saved during this week, but still, or maybe as many as 25,000 lives have been saved by the decline in the death rate. Now let's do some monthly aggregations, followed by some monthly totals. So once again, monthly total cases, a spike in July of over 150,000 cases. Let's see what we got. Is this 3? I'm sorry, this is over 1.5 million cases for July been added. Right? There's 3. 1.5 million cases added in July. For the 2 weeks of so far of August, we can see that it's less than half of this here. So we'll see what happens in the next 2 weeks. Deaths by month. You can see the decline down to here, and even in July, there was a decline in the number of deaths reported. For the first 2 weeks of August, it's awfully close, so we could wind up matching this to maybe a little higher. Let's see. Monthly death rates as a high of 6%, 7% death rate, declining, now back up to a spike of 2%. So what's the estimated lives saved? Not so much here, maybe 30,000 lives saved in June. While here, we're over 80 to 90,000 lives saved in July based on the declining death rate. So far this month, the first 2 weeks, 40,000 lives have been saved based on the number of cases and the declining death rate. So what we got here. Calculate some means. Do a little plotting. This is the weekly mean cases. Pretty much, I think it's a good sign that it's actually following the trend, and there isn't that much difference between the two. But you can see, a decline beginning in June for weekly cases. Now beginning here, we've seen a decline. Although this could easily finish up Deaths is expected, decline, decline, decline. A little increase here, but still well below the weekly high, the weekly mean deaths. One more. Okay. Monthly mean cases and weekly mean cases. So the good news is the death rate is holding steady at around 2%. It looks as if the cases after a 3-week decline may be increasing again. So that's it for today. And again, if you want to use my data and run the code itself, it's all I have a link to both of them in the description below. Thanks again, and please don't forget to subscribe. Click that red button in the bottom right-hand corner, and also, you know, share this, share the Caribou Data Science channel with one of your friends this week. Take care, and thanks for stopping by. Bye.